It's the real, it's the real, it's the real, it's the real.
Hey, you already know the deal. Need to hear the truth, wanna know the real. Realness, tell the people how you feel. We don't know it all, we just keeping it real like, hey, you already know the deal. Need to hear the truth, wanna know the real. Realness, tell the people how you feel. We don't know it all, we just keeping it real like, hey, you already know the deal. Need to hear the truth, wanna know the real. Realness, tell the people how you feel. We don't know it all, we just keeping it real like, hey, you already know the deal. Need to hear the truth, wanna know the real. Realness, tell the people how you feel. We don't know it all, we just keeping it real like. What's going on, family? It's your boy Big Sean doing bigger and better things here on your Real Talk Radio Network.
What's going on, you guys? It's just Sister Lightbright checking in. Y'all already know what time it is.
It's time for the realness, you know.
What?
And it's not that we know it all, we just what?
We just keeping it real.
And you know how it goes. That's how it is. That's what it is. We're excited to be here on tonight. Listen, we're starting our season 3 off right. We're starting it off right, man. I'm telling you. We're excited to be in the building. Excited to be here on tonight.
Yes, we got CRU ALXNDR in the building with us tonight, y'all. So make sure y'all, say what's up. He in the building. We're going to ask him a few questions and just chop it up with him, and see what's going on with him.
That's real talk. So you know how we do. We always start off with a video. We got one for you here from Sacred Music Tribe called Men of God. Men of God. We'll be right back with CRU ALXNDR. That's what's up.
Into the room, light switches on. Make the devil shake, it's the living God. Looking like a gang when I'm with the squad. You don't need a trip, we some men of God. Men of God, men of God, men of God, men of God.
Real men of God, authentic with the flaws. Say your picture perfect, I ain't buying off the walls. True emojis, always know when to pause. Just keep it real with me and we gon' have no problems. The forest in the seed, so in time they'll blossom. Solid foundation, deep roots at the bottom. Know the real from the day when the waves gon' wash. Cut their head off the snake when Jesus gon' stop.
Pull up on the scene when my team looking mean, bro. Hat to the back, to the right like a b-board. I hope for the world living in me can be destroyed. I say no to the shore to fade away and be no more. So flick on the lights and let them see. Favor from the Lord, I'm a whole family. We bought by the blood, shedded on Calvary. So no boasting in my flesh, cause it's the man that gotta sign me.
Walk into the room, light switches on. Make the devil shake, it's the living God. Looking like a gang when I'm with the squad. You don't need a trip, we some men of God. Men of God, men of God, men of God, men of God. Looking like a gang when I'm with the squad. You don't need a trip, we some men of God. SMT, nothing but some MOGs. Make you feel the word like emojis. It's real life chess, we protect our king. Sisters skip the D and we respect our queens. Haters get disgraced, no flesh enemies. Just keep the same energy. How you hating online but trying to be y'all friends when we meet? Hot psych, I forgive you, it's peace.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, bro, check it out, bro. I didn't see you filled with the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues. It's not for you to see. Well, I didn't hear it. I'm not doing it to be a man pleaser. I'm doing it to be a God pleaser. All right, bro.
Well, what do you want to do?
Just tell him what's up, bro.
All right, bro.
You know
That's setting you right, bro. It ain't fair that you bring us all the way out and then you just cut our set.
Well, it ain't about you, it's about God.
That's why you should be demonstrating the unity.
Hey, you guys, for real, man, let's just pray, man. You know what I'm saying?
If you a man of God, let me see your fruit. I see you faking like you real in your church suit. If you don't walk it like you talking, you can stay mute. If you ain't with the biz, then you can take a scoop. S&T, triple R, we no longer slaves. We lifting up the name of Jesus cause the price he paid. Persecution to my death until I see the grave. I'm screaming Jesus, 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 he the one who saves.
Walk into the room, light switches on. Make the devil shake, it's the living God. Looking like a gang when I'm with the squad. You don't need a trip, we some men of God. Men of God, men of God, men of God, men of God. Looking like a gang when I'm with the squad. You don't need a trip, we some men of God.
We don't move with the decline, we rebel against that. The best ball will separate the tears from the weak backs. Water walk up, Kona Matata, flame those like Mario ain't lukewarm. We lose Skywalkers. Grace got the cape on works, couldn't keep up these dope lines mixed with faith in the sunshine, makes a hard substance. SMT triple R free, I mean lifestyle, bring
Men of God, friend of God. Turn my living room to a synagogue. Authentic in Christ, never been a fraud. I bet my father's business, you can carry on. Hey, that light switch, cause my Christ lit. I used to be gone off that night tip. Now I break the devil off when I'm with the squad. Cause the spirit lives inside me, that's a living God.
Welcome to the room, light switches on. Make the devil shake, it's the living God. Looking like a game when I'm with the squad. Y'all need a trip, we some men of God. Men of God, men of God, men of God, men of God. Looking like a game when I'm with the squad. Y'all need a trip, we some men of God.
Shout out Sacred Music Tribe, men of God, men of God.
All right,
men of God.
all right.
Speaking of a man of God, we got CRU ALXNDR in the building. Y'all give it up for CRU ALXNDR. What's good, my man?
Hello, hello.
Guys, how y'all been?
Man,
Good,
blessed,
good.
man. Blessed,
It's
man.
blessed. It's a blessing to have you on the show. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on to the realness.
For
Thank
sure,
you guys
for
for
sure.
having
We're excited to have you on, man.
Thank you guys. I mean, this means a lot to me, for sure.
Well, yeah. Hey, listen, all day, man. We family, right?
Yes,
Family.
we
That's how
family.
do.
We now family.
That's
It's a
right.
given.
All right, so we have a few questions to ask you tonight. I'll get started. So you're from Boston, Massachusetts, born and raised.
Correct.
What was it like growing up in the city?
I feel like it was fun, you know. I spent most of my youth there, so I was born in Boston and lived there until I was about 12 years old. So pretty much a majority of my youth was there, and it was me, it was my cousins, you know, every day. Like it was just like we'd have fun riding bikes, playing ball. We lived by a field, so it was like constantly just having fun. You know, living in the city, it was normal, you know. I've always kind of been a city guy. I never been like I'm in the woods, you know. I want to
Yeah, in the country.
That scares me, honestly. Yeah, I can't do the country, but it was fun. My memories are very vague from it, you know. But it was definitely those childhood dreams. Every time I think back, you know, just hanging out with the family and just appreciating the culture in Boston. There's nothing like Boston. It's city, you know what I mean? It's you get the real gritty. But then you also just get the love of people. And I'm Cape Verdean as well, so there's a huge Cape Verdean community in Boston.
Okay.
You just feel like family everywhere you go, you know. So it's one of those places that will always be in my heart.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, being from the South. I'm sorry, like Brian. Being from the South.
You're fine.
You know, I've been to Boston a couple times, but never like extensively. Like,
Yeah.
So for somebody, say for somebody who's never been there before, what are the points of the city life that you just like can't do without? So you've always been a city boy. So what are those things that it stick out in your mind that are like, yeah, this is why I'm in the city. Why I love it.
I mean, first of all, you definitely gotta go to Roxbury and Dorchester and just get around people. You know, like the lifestyle is different. I always gotta hit up my family shop, Ideal Sub Shop. You know, like even to this day, my wife would be like, "Listen, I need you to take this 45-minute trip and go get it to Sub and come back home." Like,
Wow.
one of those things. Like we always hit this spot. There's great places to eat out there. Always family. I don't really explore too much when I go to Boston. You know, the few times that we've gone recently have been, you know, when my wife and I will take like a day trip out there and maybe spend the night in a hotel just to kind of get away from the kids, get away from everything else, and just be. So we'll do like, you know, the typical shopping here and there, a few restaurants, but then mostly it's just like I'm trying to lay back, watch Netflix, and chill. You know, just relax.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like when I go back home, it's like I want to see family. I want to go back to the places that like bring me back to my youth, my memories, you know.
Word.
Wow, that's what's up, man.
Yes, sir.
So the subs, that's what we're trying. Those subs out there.
I'm telling you, I will not.
So what's the name of the sub? Like your favorite sub?
It's literally a ham and cheese with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. That's all. You don't need
What?
And then you got to get the Cape Verdean tuna. You cannot sleep on the Cape Verdean tuna. Cape Verdean tuna is where it's at. It's like it's just the best tuna sandwich you'll ever have. But I promise you, y'all could go. I y'all to go go upstairs and then tell me what y'all think.
Man,
Telling you.
man, it sounds like you swearing on it. It
Yeah,
gotta be good.
It's one of those. It's one of those.
Y'all heard it here on the Realness first. Cape Verdean tuna, y'all. I don't know what y'all eat out there, but Cape Verdean tuna. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, so you're based out of Rhode Island. So what made you move to that area?
Yeah, so my parents actually I don't know exactly what the reason was. I know they wanted to buy a house. We would live in an apartment up until I was about 12. So we want to finally get our own home. But I think also the cost of living in Boston is just constantly going up as well. So I think they were just like, we'd rather be somewhere where it's more affordable and it's not so much city. Because Boston isn't the best city in terms of like violence, drug epidemic, and all that stuff. So we were like, you know what? I guess they were just like, let's go search in Rhode Island. We already had some family in Rhode Island as well, and they loved it. We would go up there and take trips every weekend to hang out with them. So they kind of fell in love with it there. So that basically deep routed us, all of us out of there. We went to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and then that's kind of where it all started. As far as yeah.
Man, oh, that's nice. Okay. So better living.
Better living, for sure.
Better living. Okay.
Better living, for sure. Yeah, it was different.
Gotcha.
It was different not being around a majority of my family and kind of having to adapt. Like it was weird too, because my parents had moved, transitioning, like it was like the 7th grade, like summertime 7th grade. I had moved out, but I was going to a charter school at the time, so they didn't want to pull me out. They were like, you know what, you're just going to finish the 8th grade here in Boston, so you'll stay with your grandmother during the week, and then you'll come home on the weekends. So I did that for a little bit, and then one day my mom was just kind of like, it's too much. So she, like, middle of a test, I get a call from the principal's office, and they're like, all right, your mom's here, you gotta go.
And you're gone.
And gone.
Just like that.
Gone. So I had to like transition out of this charter school mentality that I was there for like 3 years into a public school, and I was like, yo, this is different. You know, I had to wear my own clothes, you know what I'm saying? Like meet new people.
Yeah.
It was definitely rough, but the one thing that made me stand out or apart from everybody was rapping. So it was like I had that one thing that these people were like, oh, the new kid, like look at this new kid. But then when I started rapping, they were like, oh, look at the new kid. So it was that one connecting point for me.
So now you launched out of Rhode Island, right? So
yeah, essentially, music.
So how did Rhode Island contribute to that whole culture, or did it? I mean, like, would you have launched no matter where you were? If you were in Boston, do you feel like?
Yeah. I think I definitely would have.
Okay.
But I think being in Rhode Island, it kind of put my focus elsewhere. When I was in Boston, it was more so like, literally, my cousins lived on the 1st floor. I lived on the 3rd floor. So it was like, we were just hanging out all day. I wasn't making music, you know what I'm saying? When we moved to Rhode Island, I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have any friends. So I'd be in my room, you know, and I wasn't big on video games at that stage of my life. So it was just like, I just picked up music. And I had been rapping prior. I'd been rapping when I was in Boston, but I didn't start taking it seriously until I was about 15, freshman year of high school. That's when I started to like figure out how to record. I was using a webcam microphone, and I started uploading music to MySpace. And then I'd get to school and my friends would be like, yo, I heard that song, bro. Like, that was fire. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I picked up. I was like, yo, I feel like I have people who support this thing. So let me keep doing it. And they say I do it well. So I'm going to believe them. I'm going to take their word for it and just continue to push it through. So I think Rhode Island definitely played a big part in me taking that leap of faith and saying like, hey, I am pretty good at this thing. Let's see what else I could do. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right, so how's family life? Like, how do you manage being a husband, a dad, and your music career?
God.
Honestly. That's yeah.
That's the meat. Cause like I sit back sometimes and I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed right now. But then I just keep going because I just had this conversation with my wife. She was like, there's moments where you got to stop and just like say like, let God lead you, let him fill your cup, because it's so easy to just fall back into default mode. Like I get tired because, especially in this season right now with her being a little sick with the pregnancy and me taking care of the kids. We're both working from home, so it's like I'm with the kids, doing remote learning, making sure our puppy is good, you know, cleaning the house. So it's like all these different things that I've never had to do per se, like take on myself, because I was usually at work and all these different things. So now it's like I'm at a place where once I get my time to just rest, I'm like, okay, let me put on a movie or let me play a game or something to get my head off and kind of numb my mind. But I'm not sitting with Jesus in that moment. So it's like I need to refuel myself by doing that. So I think like in those moments when I do recognize it, I'm like, I need to just worship right now, you know, or I just need to just talk to God while I'm doing the dishes, and it makes that much of a difference. That's what keeps me going. If I don't have that, then I'm just gonna fall right back into this routine of being sluggish and not wanting to do anything, not being motivated. But that's the only thing I'd have to say, because like it says in the Bible, it's like He's the one that gives you your strength, you know. And if you can't find it there, you're gonna go look for it elsewhere, and you're not gonna get it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a little glimpse of it, but it's not gonna be enough to sustain you for the rest of your day or week, you know.
So He's the one that keep you going and keep you focused and
It ain't
keep
me.
you, yeah.
It ain't me, I'll tell you that. For
Man, yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, to keep going and having so many things on your plate, you know what I mean? So, like you said, even in those little moments in the times when you're washing the dishes and you just like, Lord, thank you, or you just like, man, thank you, Lord, I'm getting through it, or I thank you. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's best. People should know, you know, when you're a believer in everything, it's good to just take a moment of your day to just say thank you, or I'm gonna get through this, or Lord help me, you know, and He will.
Yeah. And it's so easy to forget that. I forget all the time. There's times where I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself, and I find myself getting short with the kids, or I'll give my wife an attitude by accident, and then I'm like, I didn't mean to give you an attitude, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that this day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She helped me to realize that the other day. I was just like, yo, I've been in this funk for like a week, and I'm just trying to get out of it. But she's like, did you pray? Did you talk to God today? Did you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know, everybody knows the lives of the voice of the Holy Spirit. So they'll hit you with that 2x4 real quick.
Oh yes, they get you right. They get you right, definitely. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your music. Like, what inspired you to even start making music? I mean, how did you know you could rap? Like, when did that come about?
That's a good question, man. Honestly, I have in my family, one of my uncles, he's very, very deep into music. Ever since I was a kid, I would go over my grandmother's house. He had a studio in there. I never got too invested into it, or from what I can remember at least. But I always knew like he loved music. He had his own studio. And I think one day my dad was like, hey, let's try and write you a rap. And he just did it. You know, he literally wrote this rap. It was like the very corniest, cheesy, like clean cut rap. And I did it, me and my cousin. We both recorded it, and it was fun, you know. And from there, I think that's where it started to like kind of stir up in me. I didn't know it at the time. I still wanted to play Pokemon. I wanted to play Nintendo 64. Like that was my thing. But then I think like what pushed me away was in those moments when it was like, I want to do something different now. So I started writing a little bit more, and then getting better with it. And I think I started to learn because of my appreciation for like the artists that I listened to. I was listening to a lot of Nas, a lot of Jay-Z. Nas was like my favorite rapper growing up. And when I realized like, I feel like I could keep up with him when I was like writing as far as the flows, I would copy the flows when I would be writing and see how I could go. I was like, okay, I know how to do this thing. I don't know where it came from, kind of just naturally came. But I think it started to stir up in those early ages. And then especially just doing music with my cousin, Nick. He was just there. We were both doing this thing, so we would kind of bounce back with each other, and that's where it just kind of grew. And then I think when I really got into it again was when I moved to Rhode Island and started actually putting my words to you know the records, and seeing the fruit of that, just seeing what it did for people. You know, I got so many messages from everybody, and you know, like those moments when you go on MySpace and it was like new messages, new comments,
yeah.
So you start to get that dopamine, and you're like, yo, I want more. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a very unhealthy type of fuel in the beginning. But obviously, since God came in, he's kind of taken that apart and redirected it. And I still, don't get me wrong, like still battle with those desires for the wants and needs and views of the world and wanting that recognition, because that's where it started. So it's like a daily repentance and just like asking God to like free me of my flesh, of those wants and desires, so that I can do this in the right way, you know?
Got you. So like, tell us your process. Like, what is your thinking in terms of your writing? Like, how do you get from sitting down with a pen and pad to blessings from above? What's that process? What's that like for you?
Honestly,
Yeah.
right, it changes a lot based off of like what I'm dealing with in life at the moment, or what my situation is. Like, I can remember like back in 2012, right? My situation was I was working 2 jobs, come home, help out my wife, help out, just doing things around the house, whatever we did. But my only free time to really write was in the car, like on my way to work. So I'd have like a good 15-minute drive. I just play beats, and then like it would start to come. And of course, it would happen in those moments when I'm like in crunch time. You know, I'm a very like I'll work under pressure really well. So I think in those times I started to learn like different ways. Because before I try to like put on a beat, sit down, and just be like, all right, it's time to write, and nothing would come. But it would be those moments when it was like unexpected, and it was just like, wow, I have this feeling inside of me, like, let me just go. And right now, I would say the process is like, because I don't have as much time as I used to, it's just like, hey, babe, I'm gonna go work on music for like a couple hours. I'm just gonna go in there, and I'll sit down and I'll pray. I just ask God, like, lead me right now. Like, whatever words you want to come out, let it come out. You be my God, you be my lead. Like, I would invite him into the situation and just ask him to lead me, because I know those moments when I'll get discouraged, you know, when you're sitting down and you're just trying to process or trying to think of what words to come up with, what flows to come up with, and nothing comes. I'm just sitting there, dang, yo, like, so I've noticed that in inviting God into it, and just expecting, almost creating a visual of Jesus sitting right next to you, just saying like, hey, let's do this thing together. It makes so much more of a difference. So right now it's just, I'll put on a beat, and I like to just record the first thing that comes to mind, because I feel like it's like it has to be the Holy Spirit. Like with Blessing, for instance, the single, the title track, and we'll get to that soon. The title track, Blessing, that was the first song that I recorded for the EP.
Wow.
So
What?
it was crazy too, because I heard the beat and I was like, yo, I had been listening to a lot of Afro beat. I love Afro beats, and Cape Verdean music is sort of similar in that range. You know, all Africans, we all listen to the same thing. So I was right into it. You know what I mean? So I had been listening to Afro beats for a while, and I was like, dang, I want to make one of these like very soon. You know, I'm not a singer. I'm a rapper first before anything else. But I was like, I know how to use autotune. I could tweak this here and there, you know. So I ended up finding this producer. It was incredible, Skimzy. I found the beat, and again, I was driving in the car. I was on my way. I think I might have been on my way to church or from church, and the melody, it started coming. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of hard. So I recorded in my phone, just that melody. I had no idea what I was saying. Got home that night. I was like, babe, I know everybody's in bed. I'm about to take an hour. I went into the prayer room. It wasn't even like, not even a finished room. We just had like a small little desk, brought my laptop, set up my microphone. It was dusty. You know what I'm saying? Like that joint, I had to sat down, asked God. I was like, God, just come right now. I don't know what I want to do with this song. I don't know where you're going to take it. And I kid you not, man, he met me in that room. That song was done within an hour and a half, written, recorded, ready to go. Not even
Wow.
kidding. That never happens. Never happened.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like,
yeah,
that is a story. That's a story.
Yeah,
That's like, man.
Looking back, I'm like, how did that happen, man? Especially being off of like a hiatus and not like creating music for in a while. It was like, where did that come from? It had to be God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome how you invite Big Sean. It's awesome how you invite God in, and he just shows up for you
every time.
Yeah. And that's awesome. That's amazing how like you and God, like you said, like he's sitting next to you, and then something amazing comes out of that moment of you just giving yourself to God, or just giving your mind and your thoughts and fully being, submissive to him. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something along those same lines. Like, it's interesting that you went into the prayer room, and that was the response to the prayer. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
blessing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty dope.
That's a
We got
crazy.
some people in the audience. Some people in the audience. I want to make sure I acknowledge you all. Please chat. Please chat. You're welcome to chat. You got some family, I believe. They said love from your nephew and cousin. Uh,
Word.
so I want you to see that. One of our favorites, one of the people who come on and join us all the time, Miss Jeanette. She said you were set apart to work on those gifts. And that's why
Yeah.
I think that's back in that conversation we were talking about Rhode Island, where you was
Yeah.
kind of sanctified so you could do what you needed to
Oh,
do in order to
wow.
grow
Wow.
those gifts. And then William McCoy, that's my brother. He's on. Shout out to Will. He said that he was listening to the song "Blessing" and he said it was good. So he's
Wow.
kind of just giving you props on the
Thank you.
song. Yeah, definitely. So y'all chat it up with us. I'll get it to him, or myself or Lightbright. Will as we see it, we'll get it to him throughout the interview. So all right. So take us to the studio. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah.
the studio.
This is a good question.
And oh yeah, it is a good question. She came up with the question, so that's why she said that. But so what is it that you have to have? Like what do you bring into the studio with you?
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
has their own kind of deal. When they
Yeah.
got, you know what I'm saying? Some people got incense in the background. They gotta have incense
Yeah,
or
or
whatever.
like they gotta have some Skittles
Yeah,
or
Right.
some gummy bears
So
or
what do
some
you bring?
water.
It's fun. It's funny. This question's hilarious because when I read it too, I was like, "That's funny, man." I am not a very particular person. Like, I don't need a specific thing to happen at a specific time in a certain way. Like, I'm not that type of person. Like, it could be, I don't know. It could, like I said, like I walked into the prayer room and set up my computer on the desk and was like, "All right, let's go." You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't need a certain thing. I think like maybe the main thing like I'd like to have is like something to drink, a glass of water or sparkling water, like those are my go-tos. Um and maybe a dim light, I don't need nothing crazy. I'm not very particular. Like even where we want to build a studio for myself in the basement as well. And I've like been thinking about what do I want to do? How do I want it to look? But I'm kind of like, I don't even know. Like I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me that much. I know the aesthetic would change a lot and maybe it might heighten my way of thinking. Who knows? But
Hmm.
right now I'm very like I care less what's in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's no distraction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Some sparkling
Man, I
water.
thought
You gotta have the
sparkling
sparkling water.
Yeah.
No,
A
Give me that.
dim light.
That'll be good.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Blessing from Above have an island Caribbean vibe going on. What was your inspiration behind this EP?
My inspiration behind it, again, from listening to a lot of Afro beats and Afro gospel. There's another artist, Limo Blaze, who's also an Afro gospel artist. I was listening to his album on repeat all summer last summer, and it was just like it. It felt so. Excuse me. It felt so good. Like it was one of those albums that made me feel like, yo, I feel alive again. Like
Mhm.
it felt like what I was familiar to. It brought me back home to my sound or our sound as a Caribbean culture as well. And it just felt like this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to venture off or kind of like see where else I could go. And I think a big part of it too is like because I had been like seeing a whole lot, and we just from daily conversation with our friends, from people in the church or whoever, the amount of depression and sadness and loneliness that's going on right now, it's so overwhelming.
Mhm.
You could be in a house with 10 people and it still feels like, yo, there's something missing right now because of the pandemic, because of all the things going on. So it was like,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wanted to use this to be a light for people. And it's funny because I battled with the thought of dropping it January 1st because I was like, this feels like a summertime record. Like it feels like this is ready, June 1st, as soon as the sun's about to come out,
Right.
go through
Yeah.
go through the beach days and all that. But I felt convicted. I was like, well, who's to say that God won't use it right now, in the cold
Right.
weather, in the cold winter, and uplift people, and the reactions that I got from people like listening to Bless, and I'm like, this is what they needed right now. They didn't even know. I didn't even know,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel it was definitely people needed it because it's like we had just got finished with 2020.
Yeah.
And then for you to bring it on the first of
Yeah.
the month of 2021, it's like, let's restart, let's regroup. Here we are, like we're here, we made it.
Yep.
So let's bring this year with good positive energy, positive thoughts, good vibes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was like, what, the birds? Like, what? We need this. Like, I've been waiting. I'm just like, man, we need this. Like, we've been patiently, I know your day one friends have been like patiently waiting. And like, man, when's CRU coming? When is CRU coming? So yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those moments when I realized like God can use anything at any time, even if, like, I had conversations with my wife, like, even if it was like one person that heard it and was like, yo, this changed my life, that would be more than enough. You know what I mean? Like, so what if it didn't get 100,000 views in the summertime and it became a #1 hit? But like, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that one person that was listening, that it pushed them enough to say like, hey, I feel like I need Jesus, or I need to do something different with my life, and pursue the righteous things,
And not only
Yeah,
that, man,
definitely.
not only that, but like, even people have been in their house, at that point since March, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so it was like they needed a vacation. Like, I need to be, and this is like something you can sit out on your porch, put your feet up, close your eyes, and imagine yourself at the beach.
Yeah,
Like,
and get a glass
chilling.
of lemonade.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cold lemonade. Yeah, but that's an insider. But yeah, we yeah, it felt good. It really did. It's like it's summer in the winter, but I love it.
Yeah,
That's
me
good.
too. Definitely, yeah.
Whew. That's hard.
So when it came, like, was it hard picking 7 songs for this project?
What's funny is it was hard coming up with 7 songs.
What?
It was
wow.
I think it was funny because there's actually, like, if you go through my folder, my Blessings from Above folder, like my studio sessions, there's like probably, I don't know, 5 other unfinished records that had started that I was like, okay, this is gonna make the album, this is gonna make the album, and then it just didn't feel right, so I'd stop. Okay, well, I need something else, so I'd go and try something else, and then I'd feel good about it. I'd go on live and be like, yo, I'm working on this record, and then it would never see the light of day. So it was very difficult just even coming up with the 7, or even like settling on that number. Initially, I wanted to do like 5, and I had done a poll on Instagram, or maybe it was just like an Instagram caption, and I just asked people, I was like, hey, what do you guys want? And a majority of people said 7, so I was like, you know what, 7 is the number of completion. It feels right for an EP. I've listened to many EPs that have been 5 songs and under, and I'm like, I want more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the last thing from people. So I was like, you know what? I think these 7 fit, and it took a while. And shout out to my boy Bennett, who mixed and engineered the entire thing. His process, like, it was crazy. I would record, he'd come over, we do our thing. Sometimes I send him the record, he'll do his thing, send it back, we go back and forth. But he was very like consistent with it, like almost like, yo, when you finishing this song, bro, we gotta, EP's right around the corner, bro. Day is like 2 weeks away, you know what I mean? So I was definitely being hard on myself, I would say. But it was harder to finalize 7 songs rather than like picking out of what you think would be like
a lot. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe he had a whole bunch of collection in the back.
What's great,
I don't know which one.
Yeah, I mean, what's great is that, like, though, don't get me wrong, like, those unfinished songs are still usable, and I will use them.
Okay.
Just gotta kind of step back for a little bit, refresh a little bit, and then go back in, because I think I had just burnt myself out to the point where I was just creating just to create, and I wasn't really like, hey, this song is gonna mean something, or it's gonna mean this, and it's gonna have this purpose. It was just kind of like, I need to finish this song. So I think that's what the roadblock was in that moment. But they will be heard one day. They will.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So those tracks that people heard on the lives, they will be heard and they will be finished.
They're coming.
Okay. All right. So what has been your feeling of this EP? Once you put it out, what was your feeling like? How did you want it to be perceived to the world? Like, what did you feelings you want everybody to feel when you decided to, all right, this is it. It's out now.
Yeah, I wanted to radiate joy, pretty much. I wrote it down. I was like, what is the purpose of the album? And I really just wanted to make people feel good, and enjoy themselves in the time. Like, there's so many people who lost family members, friends, you know what I mean? Like, so many people who are mourning, people who are struggling, staying home, like my wife, she's a go-getter. Like, she loves to work. And so when she got pregnant and had like gotten the sickness and like stopped everything, it was very hard for her. It was very difficult because she was so used to being on the go that now it was like, I gotta pause and do nothing right now. You know what I mean? So I wanted it to be a point of, hey, like, I'm feeling this way. Let me turn on this EP and uplift my spirits right now. Like, let me get back into the goodness of God, and just enjoy what he has to offer, and just to show people that, like, no matter how you're feeling, like, some good music will take you away,
Yeah, definitely. It definitely, when I hear it, it's like, if you don't do a two-step or something when you listen to this, something wrong. Yeah, something's wrong. Like, if you don't do a little shoulder something, head nod, I'm like, man.
Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe, and like I'm a fan of Afro-Caribbean beats as well, and it's like so uncommon in the CHH world. Like, it's uncommon for you have people like Drake, and you have people like that are doing it in the secular world, but you don't really see that kind of communication. And I think that was important. That's another reason why the EP is an important outlet, because you got a whole group of people who appreciate that kind of music, but don't really have that with the Christian vibe to it. So it just really, really brings about a whole new, it's almost like a new genre for CHH. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Afro gospel, man. Afro gospel to the world.
Innovative. It's innovative, and definitely necessary. So you chose all those songs, but you chose blessings to be kind of like the title of the track of the whole EP, and you chose that track to come out like with first. And so with all of the songs that you have, and they're all, to me, they're all fire.
Definitely, yes.
And I hate I waited so late. I should have started out the gate saying, okay, the track, the album's fire. Okay, let's move on. But, but so you got 7 that are amazing. What made that one stick out to you and say, hey, let me make this the title track. Let me make this the first one out. Well, I know you just gave us a story and some of the background, so we know it's a blessing. So yeah, I
think that was it within itself. It was the name, and just the fact that, like, I didn't even, it's crazy to say, but like, I didn't even have to try with that record, like, because it just came, and it was like in the perfect time. It was the perfect season. Like, when you're feeling like I can't do anything else right now. It's just like, even just breathing is being a blessing, to others, and just being able to wake up and say hi to your loved ones, say hi to your friends, and be that encouragement for them. I felt like people needed it right then and there. And again, like I said, it was the first song I completed. So it kind of was just a given. I was like, I can't see any other song being a single other than this right now. And it has the title, in the name, you know what I mean? So it just made more sense. It made more sense. I do feel like there could have been another single, like No Stressing could have been a good single, which is very funny because No Stressing was one of the songs that almost didn't make the EP.
Wow, and you have it as the first song on the EP.
It's insane. It was literally the second song I recorded. So right after I did Blessing, I think this might have been I wish I wrote it down. I think it might have been the day after. You know what? It might have been, it was the same day. It was the same night. I had finished Blessing, and I was like, okay, something's happening in this room, and I'm gonna take full authority over that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take.
Wow.
So I started No Stressing. I didn't finish it that night, but I
Okay.
had started. I think I had gotten like the first verse and the hook, and I was like burnt out at that point. It was like 3 a.m. So I just had to cut it. But that I slept on that record. Like I didn't realize people were gonna love it as much as they do. I think if I had to choose another single, it would have been No Stress. And now that I see the traction of it.
So
Nice.
speaking of No Stressing, you know, like you said, it's the first track on the album. It's like mood music. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Definitely mood music for the soul. You know, just kind of relaxing. You know, just a chill vibe.
Yeah.
What was your motivation? Like, what was your thought behind No Stressing? What would you expect people to gain or glean from it?
Yeah, No Stressing was very personal to me. It was one of those songs that like that spoke to me in a time where I was stressing about everything. It was like
Man.
there was so much going on. It was like right around the time when we had found out my wife was pregnant. So like all these responsibilities were kind of just like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So it flipped my world upside down, and it made me realize like, hey, am I allowing myself to do this, or am I allowing God to do this through me? You know, in just being or just living, and understanding that He's carrying me through every one of my burdens. He's carrying me through every one of these trials and tribulations that are coming my way. So why should I stress? Like, why do I have to worry? It literally says in the word, do not worry, do not stress. You know what I mean? So it's like, I need to stop and think and realize like, hey, He said He has it under control, you know, like, so why am I putting this weight on myself? Not that we shouldn't, you know, take care of our responsibilities or do what we have to do to meet our needs and our family needs, but there comes a point in time where you have to divide the selfishness in you that says like, this is too much, and I don't want to deal with this, and divide that between, okay, you know what, I know this is too much, but I'm gonna allow God to come in and sub me out. You know what I mean? So No Stress was like very personal. It was like, I have to understand that I can't do this myself. So I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to put that weight on me. That's what the enemy wants. You know, he wants you to stress. He wants you to feel like worried about everything that's going wrong, things that aren't going right. It's like, we can't allow that to happen. So this was one of those songs that I wanted to lift people out of that stage of thinking.
Man,
Nice.
that's powerful, and it's I liken it, and a lot of people, you know, may not understand this. If you're saved, you definitely are. But the not my will, but Thy will be done.
Yeah.
You know, like, look, you know, this is a lot. I'm tired. You know, I'm frustrated. Whatever, but not my will. Thy will be done. And so I'm gonna keep going, keep moving, and I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm not gonna. You know, I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I know you're gonna carry me through to that next point or that next level. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it's like you're basically when your mind is telling you something and you went against what your mind was trying to tell you, and you're just like, no, I'm not gonna be stressing, and your mind's like, oh, we're in worry, we're gonna do this, and you wrote down, you know, a better feeling for yourself, writing it down of how you want to feel and how it's going to be, how you want it to be, to not stress. So that's awesome.
You gotta speak it into existence. You know what
I
mean?
Definitely. And that's what you were doing. Like,
that's really what it was. It's like I said, like, He's my healer, my doctor. Like, so yeah, I might be sick right now, but I can't do anything about it. Ain't no doctor gonna do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? They might tell me to take this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, like, I'm going to get my healing through prayer. I'm going to get my healing through the God who made me, who created me. So why am I going to stress about that, you know?
Right.
Definitely.
So we've been talking a little bit about music here. I want to give them the people a little taste of what it is that they have to look forward to on the EP. And it just so happens that I chose one of my favorites on the album, which is Confidence. I love Confidence, man. It's one of my favorite tracks. It makes me think about that like there is clearly a balance between what I can do, like me being confident in me versus me being confident in the one who created me and the one who purposed me and the one who designed me and the one who made me to be who I am. And so when I hear it, that's what I get from it, and that's why I really, really enjoy it. So what were you thinking? What was your thinking in that particular song?
That was it was a fun record for me, and it's funny because I didn't know where I was going with it. I heard the beat and I hit record. I like to do that. Like once I hear a beat for the first time, I know I'm feeling it. I'll just go put the headphones on and hit record and just record whatever comes to mind. And that was literally the first word. You are my confidence, I was just like, that's it. Like I don't have to sit here and try to think like, okay, I got this, you know what I'm saying? I'm confident in myself. I've made all these different songs and I can do whatever. It's like, nah, like that was just straight to the fact. Like I literally sat down and he gave me the words. You know what I mean? Like he spoke through me in that time. So it's like, I don't even have to stress about that. Like I know that my confidence comes from him. So I don't have to put that in myself. And that's a part of like letting go of your flesh, letting go of like the ego that you've held on to, the things that people have thrown onto you to feel like, oh, I can do this on my own, or I can handle this. So it's like, nah, he's the one that gives you the confidence. He's the one that moves you. He's the one that pushes you to where you need to go. And so that was just like a testament within itself. Once I laid down the chorus, I was like, yeah, this is a go. Like that's it, and I just spoke on that. Like, how is my confidence? Like, what does he do for me? And I wanted people to relate to it and just understand that you can rely on yourself to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, it's like God is the one that's gonna lead you and guide you in the right steps. So
nice. Yeah. Confidence is nice. Y'all already know my favorite, From Above. That's that's my track right there. I was just like, and then like for you, the way you ended like the whole project with that, I'm just like, okay, last song, I'm sad, but here we go. And then it's like, what?
Word, thank you.
Man, yeah, From Above, you did what needed to be done. It was great.
That means a lot.
So we talked about how you said, because pretty much this
Hold
question.
on.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Let's play Confidence for the folk.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna play your song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Here we go. Confidence. This is CRU ALXNDR, and this is off his EP, Blessings from Above. Y'all check it out.
All right.
Yeah.
One day at a time, when my life is feeling like it's on the line, your love is divine, there's nothing great, I know it's one of a kind. You give me something good, oh something good, I need it. You give me something good, oh something good, I need it. You are my confidence, yeah. Lord, you are my confidence, oh yeah. I know it's not a mistake, Lord, it's your presence, you giving me blessings, I run out the way. Lord, I can't explain how it is that you know just what I need. And I swear every time you come, something good, oh something good, I need it. You give me something good, oh something good, I need it. You are my confidence, yeah.
All right. CRU Alexander, confidence. And
Yes,
you're tuned
yes.
into the realness again. That's what's up, man. Good stuff, man. I love that song, man.
Thank
I
you,
really
bro.
do.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites for
Yeah.
sure.
Proceed.
Well, ready? Okay, so like I was saying, so you already touched on bases that you were saying that you would want people to take away from your project joy, right?
Mhm.
So we've already touched on that question. So as far as artists that you listen to or that you've heard before or that you've seen, which artists would you like to collaborate with if you had to choose?
Yeah. I think right now one of my favorite CHH artists is Andy Mineo. He's literally like one of my favorite rappers right now, for that matter. I definitely would love to work with him, work with Lecrae, you know, the greats. I love
Yes.
with Limo Blaze, who I mentioned earlier. He's another Afro gospel artist as well. Big inspiration for the EP. So I'd love to work with him. As far as like even the, you know, my I guess the secular side, like I love John Bellion. I don't know if you guys know John Bellion.
I never heard of him.
He's incredible. I feel like he has a Christian background, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm open to working with any artist, you know what I mean? Just because like I know the things that God can do through me, you know what I mean? So like even with this EP, what was crazy, you had mentioned a point earlier, Sean. You said something that made me remember. There was this one moment in time, I think, when I dropped Blessing, I had gotten a text, and I think it might have been from like a cousin of mine or maybe a friend, but they were like, yo, I didn't even realize I was praising God this whole time in my house. You know what I'm saying? Just singing the song. So that in itself was like such a blessing, because it was like, this speaks to the world in a way that doesn't conform to them. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it's one of those projects where somebody, again, from the secular side could come listen to it and be like, yo, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could vibe with this, you know what I mean? And not realize like, yo, God's doing something here. Like little by little, it's going to start to impact. And then it's like, I was just explaining this to somebody else, you know, even when I first came in and had gotten saved, I was making secular music for a long time. Like it had been well over 10 years of me making secular music before I transitioned over. When I started trying to listen to Christian hip hop, I was like, yo, I want to listen to this music so I can start like rethinking this whole thing and figure out how to write away from what I was used to. And so I listened to songs, and some stuff was like outdated and just didn't feel like I could connect with, you know, like it wasn't the songs that were like Jesus, James, Peter, Paul in every verse. It was the songs that sounded like something that I could relate to in that time, like where my mind was still like trying to figure this thing out, walk this walk with God. I couldn't get there with what I was trying to listen to. And then when I found an artist that was like, yo, this sounds like something I would make. Okay, I love this artist. Let me go check out more of his stuff. Then I started to dig deeper. Okay, love your story. I love how you love Jesus. Now my love for Jesus is starting to grow. So it was kind of like, I wanted that to be the back end of it, where it feels like to somebody who isn't a Christian, for them to listen to the EP and be like, dang, I love this. Like, let me see what else I could find. You know, and then they start to dig into my story. Oh, wow, this is a man of God. Oh, wow, I love his family. You know what I'm saying? I love this. Oh, wow, they're Christians. Oh my God. He posts about his church. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like those little instances where God's going to use every bit of me, you know, as a vessel to just pour into others in some way, even though it's not like right in their face. Like, hey, you should, you know what I'm saying? That you're in, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want it to be that. I didn't want it to be too upfront in your face. And I wanted it to be simple enough for people to just get. Like, it doesn't get simple.
And it's really relatable too. It's relatable. Like, it's like somebody can feel at least one of your tracks. Like, man, I felt that way before. Or man, and even if, like you said, they're not Christian or anything, they'll be like, wow, I would want to listen to more. Like, maybe Jesus is not so bad after all. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. It opens that door for them that they didn't want to open, you know?
Right. And just the way, like, you open as you listen to other artists looking for that window and that help for your artistry,
Mhm.
you can also with your stuff open it for someone else the
Exactly.
way that they did for you.
Exactly.
So I think you definitely did that with this project.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So numbers. Big Sean like talking numbers.
Yeah,
Looks
I'm a
like.
numbers dude.
So you got 20,000 plus on Instagram. You got 2,474 monthly listeners on Spotify. You got over 1,000 on Facebook and over 6,000 on YouTube. And music noted on Rapzilla. What does that feel like for you? Those numbers. What do it means to you?
It feels amazing. You know, I had mentioned earlier, like trying to pull away from what my flesh wanted before, you know, the fame, the fortune, the things that come with being a rapper, you know, wanting recognition and approval from other people. So it's a very bittersweet area. You know, I love, you know, getting on DistroKid and checking out my stats and saying like, wow, the album's done so well on Thursday, you know, like what else could I do to promote it? But looking at it from a standpoint of like, each of these numbers are people. You know, these are people that have the potential to enter into heaven one day. You know what I'm saying? So individualizing it that way and not looking at it as like, oh, these are numbers that are going to get me closer to $. You know what I mean? Like trying not to get my head going in that direction, because it could be so easy to get lost in that and lost in that recognition. Oh yeah, I got 30,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're comparing with everybody else. But looking at these have been like so rewarding to see that I've run this race for a long time, and even after transitioning out of the secular world, to see and get the support from other people who aren't Christians, you know, and who still support me to this day and say like, yo, I'm not a Christian artist, but this was fire. Like I needed this. I didn't realize I needed this. It's like those numbers mean so much more to me, knowing that there are individuals who one day can potentially meet Christ, you know. So it's definitely rewarding, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. And like you said, those numbers, they're not just numbers, they're not just dollar signs, they're people.
Yeah.
And you're touching each and every one of those people. Yeah. I like that.
When you think of them as souls, you have a different value for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the powerful part of, you know, even I don't know whether or not you consider what you do a ministry or not, but you are ministering. And so, you know, for that to be your forefront, that's in itself speaks a lot about who you are as an individual and what it is that you want to do in terms of the kingdom, your kingdom work. So, yeah, man, salute for that, really. I would salute you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Big Shine.
All right, so is this what you anticipated in terms of success, like these kinds of numbers, this kind of thing? What is it that you anticipated? I'm gonna put two questions together. So what is the ultimate goal? Like what does success in this look like for you as an artist, as a CHH artist?
Yeah, it's funny you asked this question too, because I honestly didn't really have a goal for this album per se. I didn't have anything that I was like, this is what I want to see from this, and this is how I'm going to get it. You know, it was kind of like this feels like the time to do this right now, and I'm gonna let God do it. Even as I released the EP, you know, normally, typically what you do is like you drop a project and it's like, okay, time to push, promo, email everybody, you know, text their mom, you know what I'm saying? Go to school, staying outside, pass this out, you know. And it ended up being at the same time as prayer and fasting for my church. And I was talking to my wife about it. We were like, why don't we just let God do what he's supposed to do with it and just pull back, you know, which was very hard. Like when I thought about it, I like got a knot in my throat. I was like, oh Lord, like that's a lot of faith. That's
really.
You know what I'm saying? And just to see the beauty of that, man, like I came back and it was like everything that happened in that time, like I could have done for myself, but God probably did so much more than I could have. So there's no end goal. I guess like the success that I anticipated, I guess I would say was this, but I know there's more. You know, I know that there's so much more to come from it, but I also have to do the work in that. You know what I mean? Like things like this, just having a sit down and talking to you guys about it. Like this is the first discussion I've had with anybody about
Wow.
and that's a part of that is me in my lack. But obviously, I know I'm not gonna be too hard on myself. Obviously, with everything going on, it's difficult. But this just kind of like solidifies it. Like, hey, you can do this right here where you're at. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself to be out here in the streets tossing my EP at everybody's face and saying you need to hear this. But but at the same time, I know God's kind of like, yo, so what you gonna do with this now? I gave you this, so how you gonna use it? So I know there's more to come from it. And again, like you said, looking at it as souls coming to Christ, you know, is gonna give me much more of a motivation than it would be to just get numbers to get numbers, you know.
Right. Well, we certainly are excited and grateful to be able to play even a small role in getting this EP out there. I know some people are going to go and check it out, having heard Confidence and having, you know, us discuss it. And so I'm grateful to God for the role that he played, that he put us together. Shout out to Light Bright for making this happen.
Thank you.
Man, a blessing from God. We always like to end, and I hate to end because I just a good time. You know what I'm saying? Always a good time on the realness, but we gotta go. All right. So, but before we go, we always ask, like, what's your favorite Bible verse? What roots you in the Word? Like, what is it that you would like to share with the people in terms of this verse?
I think I don't have a specific. Again, I'm not a particular person, so I don't have a specific Bible verse that's like my go-to. I think it changes a lot based off of what I'm going through. Right now in this season, it's Matthew 11:28, where it says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest, real rest." That right now speaks volumes to me because, like I mentioned earlier, you know, with everything that's going on around me, I'm not a complainer either. Like you could ask my wife, like I will stay in the house and be burdened in my face. You know, I could be like completely frustrated, but I will not say, hey, I'm feeling burnt out right now. I don't like to complain. But realizing like Jesus is going to carry these burdens for me. So I have to meditate on that. I have to recognize that. And like you said earlier, like when I'm washing dishes, let me pause and just thank God that I have dishes right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me.
You have water to wash, so it's clean water. Like
exactly. So it's like if you stop in those moments throughout the day and just say like, God, carry this for me. Like I can't hold this. He's gonna meet you there. You know, he's not gonna. You think about your own child. Like my pastor had mentioned something in service this Sunday. He was like, if you think about your own child, let's say they're in California and they're all of a sudden homeless, they have nowhere to go, you can't hop on a plane because of COVID, you're gonna walk all the way to California to go help your child. So it's like, if we can do that for our child here, how much more will God do for us, you know, here?
Wow.
You know? It's like, if I stop and just give it to him, just surrender it to him with open hands and say like, can you please just take these from me because I'm feeling this way, he's gonna meet you there, you know? So that's my verse right now. That's really been speaking to me and just kind of been my God this week, I would say, for sure.
Word. So
that's a good one, yeah.
If you don't mind, I want to encourage you, man. Like one of my favorite verse, and it's kind of crazy because it kind of was like drilled into me. It was like our church's declaration, but it's Romans. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I want to encourage you in this, that the stuff that you are doing is refreshing people's minds. You know, it's really you've shown yourself a living sacrifice. You know, pushing through all that you're going through, and you know, all of the turmoil of the world. You know, exterior and you know, for an album to come out in the middle of all of this, man, I know that had to be even a frightening thought in and of itself. But you made the sacrifice. You did it. And God is honoring it, man. And I just want to encourage you that even without you pushing it, God is moving because He put it in motion. He gave you that first song, that first blessing, and it's been blessing us, me all month, really, like truly. And I'm probably gonna listen to it tomorrow. I'm not gonna even lie.
I even listened to it before we started the show. I was like, okay, I got 30 minutes. I'm gonna listen to the whole.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've been hitting it on Spotify. Like your numbers gotta be like in the billions because I've been tearing it up, man. I really
see
enjoy
what my
it.
stats look like for Florida. It's gonna skyrocket this week.
Yeah, man. I can't wait, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Where can the people get in touch with you, man? How can they find you? Where you?
Yeah, where can we find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Instagram, CRU ALXNDR. That's CRU ALXNDR. Also on Facebook, I did share this this interview as well. So I request. I mean, I accept everybody's friend requests. Honestly, I probably had like 5,000 on there that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm open to messages. You know what I mean? DMs, whatever. Yeah, you can find me on there. So.
All right.
Okay, and where can they find you, Big Sean?
Oh, here she go. Here she go. Here she go. Ricky Ricardo McCoy on Instagram. Y'all know Righteous on YouTube. Also, don't forget the Realness is also there on YouTube. We're on Instagram, on the Real Talk Radio Network, and also on Facebook on the Real Talk Radio Network. So y'all make sure y'all check us out there. Light Bright. Where you at? Where you at? Show the people where you at.
Well, you can find me on Instagram _light LIGHT, the letter X, and bright BRIGHT __. That's where you can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram. Oh yeah, that's why you can find me.
And poetry on YouTube.
Oh yes,
Hello.
And I have poetry on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can look up Light Bright. I have poetry on YouTube. Yeah, and I have blogs as well. So yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah.
All right, that's what's good. Well, but we got one more treat before we go. One more treat before we go for the people. We're gonna close out with this right here. It's one of your songs, man. Take That. I really enjoy that. What was the inspiration for Take That? Share it with the people.
Yeah. Take That was one of those songs that came from a place of vulnerability when I realized, like, yo, I'm being beaten and burdened by all these different things right now, but you can take all those things from me. You know what I'm saying? Like physically, you can take whatever you want from me. You can take, try to take my joy and all these things, but at the end of the day, I still got my God. You know what I'm saying? Like you can never take that from me. And so it's kind of like yeah, go ahead. Like you could rip off my flesh and I'm still good. You know what I mean? Rip it off for me. Keep it. You know what I mean? So it was at a place of like, hey, I realized like you could take whatever you want. You could bash me, call me names, whatever, but you can't take my God away from me at the end of the day. So yeah.
So the video is dope.
Dope.
The concept for the video is dope. It's hilarious.
It is.
I kind of laugh, especially with their like the sandwich scene. One of my favorites. And then when they're robbing you from your car, and you just sitting there like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, here, take it, whatever. But y'all will get to see it in a minute. Y'all stay tuned, listen to it. Hey man, we love y'all. God bless you and keep you, man. We really appreciate you all joining us on tonight. Please do us a favor.
Yes.
If you have not shared tonight, please share tonight, man. We want crew to go get out there, especially for those of you all in the South, man. We want crew to get out there and to really push this great music. I mean, it's inspiring, man. I'm telling you, I'm not hyping him up because he on here. Because if it was garbage, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even ask him to come on if it was, you know. So y'all know how we do. But I'm telling you, man, you want to listen to this, you want to vibe with it. I guarantee you'll be listening to it next month if you listen to it now. So check it out. But this is Take That, y'all. We out.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.
Judas. I'm in the water like tuna fish. Disturbing the peace, this is ludicrous. I'm just here to teach like a tutor is. I hit a whole different mood with this. This is really not the usual. No, I gotta put a swing on it. If anybody know it, you should know. I started off rapping with the guy that came back to rapping, man. Amazing better. Now I'm cheesing all the way through life. Funny how I used to chase cheddar. Me, I'm trying to live a sweet life. Something on the line of Zach and Cody. Me, I need to get my team right. Something on the line of Shaq and Kobe, man. I'm finished with all of the negative vibes. No time to fight, I'm just letting it ride. Me, I just don't have the patience for that. Came in from heaven, I'm making it back. Trust me, I get it, we've been through it all. I just relax, but you thirsty to kill. Me, I got seasons on seasons of not understanding the reason I need to be fed. At least I know he'll release it, and he know I need it. It's better we leave it unsaid. All I know, I got a different pattern than you ever had in your whole life. I've been there, done that. I'm just trying to get my soul right. Is that alright? This is not the usual, I believe that. I ain't got no juice, baby, I don't need that. I ain't got the time missing on the Maybach, but I got my God, ain't no way to take that. Take that, 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 ain't no way to take that. I got on my side like a duffel bag, pushing singles forward, I don't double back. Spitting living water, this is puddle raps. It's a game changer, you should huddle that. This is more than just another rap, this a lifestyle, not another task. I done changed life like what a pass, and they stage right like what is that? Look, you can take whatever you want, the house, the clothes, the car, the motor boat. I owe them both, I own the ghost, a new man, I'm Omarosa. Hold my hopes, I hold the ropes, I roller coaster, coast to coast. I hang the poster, call the shots, I chose to show up. No, I'm closer, most to home, I'm close to home. I know I'm supposed to know I'm safe, that's word to OSHA. Oh my, if you ask me, none of the flesh made me happy. I can have $1 million chain and a couple diamond rings, and you still wouldn't catch me flashy. Boy, I don't boast for nothing, no bread on me, got no toast or nothing. Back, boy, we know you frontin', take it all from me like I'm Joe or something. Boy, you know we coming like that. Wow, this is not the usual, I believe that. I ain't got no juice, baby, I don't need that. I ain't got the time missing on the Maybach, but I got my God, ain't no way to take that. Take that, 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 ain't no way to take that.
It's the real, it's the real, it's the real, it's the real.